Imagine you wake up tomorrow and the sun just fails. It's 10 a.m., but the sky is a bruised, sickly purple. You check your phone, but the screen is just static. You walk outside and the air smells like burnt matches and wet metal. You don't know it yet, but you've just entered the full version of the worst year in human history. In 536 AD, the world went dark for 18 months. No shadows, no summer, just a decade of frost and the literal collapse of civilization. Historians call it the year the sun died. But back then, they were just peasants with wooden plows. Today, we are 8 billion people trapped in a high-tech glass house, and the hammer is about to fall. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why a 20-degree global temperature drop isn't just cold, it's a biological reset. I'm going to explain why your smart technology will be the first thing to betray you, why a new dark virus would turn our sun-starked bodies into a playground, and most importantly, I'm going to give you the blueprint to survive when the global grid melts into the ash. Stay with me until the very end, because the difference between being a survivor and being a statistic is knowing what to do when the lights go out and stay out. Welcome to 2026. The year the sun resigned. Let's be honest, we've all had those mornings where we wished the world would just stop for a bit. No emails, no alarms, no responsibilities. Well, history has a funny way of taking our wishes way too literally. There's a specific date in our past that makes every modern bad year look like a luxury vacation. 536 AD was the year the sun decided to take an 18-month sabbatical. It was the year of permanent twilight and summer snow. But what if 536 was just the early access version? What if 2026 is the official global launch? Back in 536, the culprit was a massive volcanic eruption, likely in Iceland. It didn't just blow some smoke, it belched out a cloud of sulfur so thick that it turned the sun into a pale, heatless disk. For 18 months, people didn't see their own shadows. Now, if that happened today, we'd probably start by posting some incredible photos online. But the novelty would wear off the moment we realized our tech doesn't like volcanic ash. Volcanic ash isn't fluffy like the stuff in your fireplace. It's essentially microscopic, jagged shards of glass, and it's ionized. For the tech lovers among us, this is where it gets interesting. When that ash settles on power grids, it causes massive static discharge. It's like a global prank by the universe. Transformers start popping like popcorn. Your solar panels, they're now covered in gray glass mud. Your emergency generator, it's a great piece of machinery, but once it sucks in that abrasive ash, it's going to sound like a blender full of marbles before it gives up. Every filter will clog, every piston will seize. We've built a civilization on delicate things, and the universe is about to bring a sledgehammer. But hey, let's look at the lack of a bright side. We aren't just looking at a cool autumn, we're talking about a 20-degree Celsius drop across the entire planet. I know what you're thinking, if it's 30 degrees in July and it drops to 10, I'll just wear a hoodie and be fine. It sounds like a dream for people who hate the heat. Well, here is the loop. Nature doesn't care about your hoodie. A 10-degree summer is actually a biological game over. Most of the crops that keep 8 billion of us from being hungry need heat to grow. Wheat, corn, rice, they aren't fans of the 10-degree lifestyle. In 536, the crops rotted while they were still green. In 2026, it would be the same. No sun means no photosynthesis. No photosynthesis means the entire food chain just stops. Even the bees would stay home because they generally don't feel like working when it's below 13 degrees. Without pollination, the very foundation of our food system crumbles in weeks. So, how do you handle the first 30 days of this global chiller? Here is a survival tip: the warm zone. Don't try to be a hero and heat your whole house. It's a losing battle. Pick the smallest room you have, ideally one with the fewest windows. Line the walls with books. Yes, those paper things we used to read. Books are actually fantastic insulators. Cram everyone in there. Your primary heater isn't a radiator anymore. It's the person sitting next to you. It's cozy if you ignore the impending collapse of society. But why did our ancestors in 536 struggle so much? It wasn't just the cold. It was the immune collapse. When you don't see the sun, your body forgets how to make vitamin D. Your immune system basically goes on a permanent coffee break. In 536, this led to the plague of Justinian, a pandemic that took out half the world because everyone was already physically exhausted and sun-starved. In our 2026 scenario, we wouldn't need a medieval plague. A simple modern respiratory virus, let's call it the shadow flu, would have a field day. Imagine 8 billion people with zero vitamin D huddled together for warmth and dark, damp rooms. It's a virus's dream come true. Without electricity, our hospitals are just dark, cold buildings where the machines don't beep anymore. This is why vitamin D supplements and basic hygiene might actually be more valuable than gold in this world. This leads us to the reality of the modern human. We've spent the last century getting really good at clicking buttons to make things happen, but in the 536 full version, the buttons don't click back. Within a week, the 3 meals to anarchy rule starts to look a lot less like a theory and a lot more like a documentary. When the grocery stores stay dark and the delivery apps show no connection, people change. The social contract is written on paper that gets very brittle in the cold. Survival isn't about being the toughest guy in the gym anymore. It's about being the most prepared and, frankly, the most invisible. Survival tip number 2, ghost mode. In a dark world, any light is a neon sign that says, "I have stuff." If you have a fire going or a flashlight on, you're the most popular person on the block for all the wrong reasons. Learning to navigate in the dark and keeping a low profile isn't just a skill, it's a necessity. And for the love of everything, don't drink the snow. I know it looks tempting like a giant slushie, but it's actually full of volcanic toxins like fluorine and sulfur. It will shut your kidneys down in 48 hours. You need to filter every drop through layers of crushed charcoal and sand. It's a bit of work, but it beats having your organs quit on you. The 536 event lasted for years. It broke empires and reshaped the world. It was a brutal, slow-motion reset, but it also proved something incredible. You are here. That means your ancestors, some guy or girl in a cold, dark hut 1,500 years ago, didn't give up. They didn't have GPS, they didn't have puffer jackets, and they definitely didn't have video tutorials. They just had grit. They ate bark, they shared their warmth, and they waited for the sun to come back. We're a bit softer now, aren't we? We get upset when the internet is slow or the coffee is cold, but that same survival DNA is still tucked away in your system somewhere. If the sky turns gray tomorrow and the thermometer starts its 20-degree dive, you're going to have to find it. You'll have to decide if you're the person who adapts or the person who waits for a customer service line that's been disconnected forever.
The 536 eruption was a gentle nudge from history. The 2026 version is a possibility that's always bubbling beneath the surface, waiting for its moment. So what do you think? Could we pull it off? Would we share our last can of beans, or would it be every person for themselves? Comment adapt if you think you've got that 536 energy in you, or dark if you think we're in trouble. And hey, hit subscribe. If the lights do go out for real, you're gonna wanna remember these tips. Stay warm out there while the sun is still doing its job.